Okay, thanks, Chip. A lot of adults are looking out for number one, as they say. So how do you raise a child to care about others? Well, author and pastor Dave Stone tackles that very question in his new book, How to Raise Selfless Kids in a Self-Centered World. Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Dan. Thanks. It's great to be with you.
Okay, well, the first thing you want to do, be very intentional, be very deliberate if you're a parent in trying to impart these lessons. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of parents, I think, that just kind of sit back and wait for their kids to become selfless and servant-minded, and it doesn't work that way. You have to be proactive and be intentional and say, we're going to put our best foot forward, and we're going to help this child take the focus off of himself and put it on other people.
Okay, talk to your kids, you say, about the importance of carrying on a real conversation with a grown-up. Now, why is that?
You know, there's a lot of kids these days who are growing up, going in their teen years, and they can't talk with adults. So when they have an interview in a few years for their first job, they're not going to have a prayer on what to say. No, they won't know what to do. They might be great if they're interviewed by their smartphone or by Facebook, but when it comes to that one-on-one interaction. So whenever we had guests come over to the house, we would say to our kids, you can't be excused until you've asked that guest 2 or 3 questions. So you get them thinking about others right from the get-go.
And it kind of plays into what you were talking about. Teach them to value the person in front of you more than the technology that occupies so much of their time. And what about social media? That fits in with all of this, right?
It really does, because our kids are controlled by it. They're consumed with the whole concept as far as that goes when it comes to making certain on Twitter, Instagram, whatever their social media outlet is, whether it's Facebook. And so what we challenge our kids to do is to say, okay, if you're going to do that, let's limit the amount of time. Let's make certain mom and dad have access to it. But let's also make certain that you do something on behalf of someone else. So maybe you give a shout out to a person that doesn't have a whole lot of people who are following them. Maybe you encourage them and you say, show me something you did for someone else to encourage them today on your social media.
And this one I really do find very interesting. When you're complimenting your child, focus on their character as opposed to their talent or their achievements.
Yeah. You know, Tim Tebow's parents did something really unusual when they raised them. And that was anytime that they did something sports-wise and were commended on an achievement, they didn't make a big deal about it. But if they did something that was noted for their character, if someone said something about their honesty or the way they cared for other people, that's when they would reward them.
A very interesting idea. Well, thank you so much, Pastor Stone. And there's lots more in the book as well. You can find a link to Dave Stone's website at our website, myfoxdfw.com.